Hey all, welcome back to Ultimate GK Blasters. Ever wondered why the periodic table isn't just a simple list? Well, never mind. As we dive into the world of atoms and elements, it's essential to first understand the map that guides us through this microscopic universe. The periodic table. Now you might be thinking, why do we need such a complex chart? Why not just a simple list of elements? The answer lies in the genius of a certain Russian scientist, Dmitry Mendeleev. In the late 19th century, he organized elements based on their atomic weight and properties, providing a structure that not only contained known elements, but also predicted new ones. Imagine being so ahead of your time that you create slots for things that don't even exist yet. Talk about forward thinking, but let's not forget, Mendeleev was a real elementary school dropout. I mean, who else would spend their time arranging elements into rows and columns? Maybe he just loved playing tic-tac-toe a little too much. Jokes aside, the periodic table is a lot more than a confusing chart. It's a testament to human curiosity, a tool that allows us to understand the building blocks of the universe. From the hydrogen in water to the iron in our blood, every element on the table plays a crucial role in our lives and the world around us. And guess what? The periodic table isn't just for scientists with big words and lab coats. It's a guide for anyone who's ever looked at the world and wondered, what's the matter? Get it? Matter? Elements? Oh, I'm on fire today. So fasten your seatbelts and put on your thinking caps. We're about to embark on a journey through the periodic table, from its humble beginnings to the intricate structure we know today. So, as you can see, the periodic table isn't just for scientists. It's for anyone who has ever wondered, what's the matter? Get it? Matter? Elements? Oh, never mind. Hey all, welcome back to Ultimate GK Blasters. So, we've talked about what the periodic table is, but how about we dive into its layout? Don't worry, no swimming skills required. Now, the periodic table might look like a complex jigsaw puzzle at first, but once you understand its layout, it's as easy as pie. Let's break it down. The periodic table, my friends, is divided into rows and columns, which are scientifically known as periods and groups. Just like how we have different communities living together in harmony in our cities, the elements in the periodic table also live together in groups. They are like the neighborhoods of the chemical world. Now, let's talk about these groups. There are 18 vertical columns in the periodic table, which are called groups. And guess what? The elements in each group are like a close-knit family. They share similar properties. I guess you could say they've got a real chemistry together. Got that? No? Well, never mind. Next up, we have the periods. They run horizontally from left to right, and there are 7 in total. Each period represents a new energy level. It's like moving up a level in a video game, but here it's all about electrons. But wait, there's more. The periodic table is also divided into blocks. We've got the S, P, D, and F blocks. Each block represents the sublevel that the last electron entered. It's like the final destination for an electron on a world tour of an atom. And there you have it. That's the basic layout of the periodic table. It's not just a random assortment of elements, but a well-organized system where each element has its own place based on its properties. So, the next time someone asks you about the periodic table, just tell them it's all about the right chemistry, literally. And remember, like in chemistry and in life, knowing where you belong can make all the difference. Stay curious, stay informed, and keep blasting your knowledge with Ultimate GK Blasters. Hey all, welcome back to Ultimate GK Blasters. Now that we know the layout, let's meet the stars of the show, the elements themselves. No, not earth, wind, and fire. We're talking about hydrogen, helium, and you get the idea. So, let's start with hydrogen, the first element on the periodic table and the lightest one. It's a gas that's colorless, odorless, and tasteless. But don't let that fool you. Hydrogen is a key player in the universe. It's the main ingredient in stars, and it's essential for life on Earth. It's also a clean energy source. Maybe one day your car will run on hydrogen instead of gasoline. Next up, we have helium. It's the second element, and it's a real party animal. You know those balloons at birthday parties that float in the air? That's because of helium. It's lighter than air, and doesn't react with anything, so it's perfect for floating balloons and making your voice sound funny. But helium is more than just fun and games. It's used in MRI machines and deep-sea diving equipment. And then there's oxygen. We can't live without it, literally. It's essential for breathing, and it makes up about 20% of Earth's atmosphere. But oxygen is not just about keeping us alive. It's also a key part of water and rocks. So, you could say that oxygen is a pretty big deal. Now, let's talk about gold. Gold, the king of elements. It's shiny, it's valuable, and it doesn't react with anything. It's like the most noble of all elements. Get it? Because in chemistry, elements that don't react with anything are called noble gases. And gold is like a noble gas, but it's not a gas. It's a metal, but it's noble. So it's like a noble metal. Yeah, I know, I might need to work on my jokes, but never mind that. What's interesting about gold is that it's been used for thousands of years for jewelry and money. It's also used in electronics and dentistry. So while gold might not be a noble gas, it's definitely a versatile element. And last but not least, we have fluorine. It's the most reactive element on the periodic table. It reacts with pretty much everything, even water. And it's used in toothpaste to help prevent cavities. So, you could say that fluorine is a real lifesaver. So, whether you're as reactive as fluorine or as noble as gold, there's a place for you on the periodic table. Unless you're unobtainium, then you're just in the movies. Alright, let's lighten things up with some fun facts and trivia. Did you know that there's an element named after a Muppet? No. Oh, never mind. Let's start with a bang, quite literally. Did you know that the only two elements that explode in water are sodium and potassium? Talk about having a fiery temperament. And speaking of fiery, the element with the highest melting point is tungsten. It can withstand a blazing heat of over 6,000 degrees Fahrenheit before it says uncle and melts. Now let's move from the fiery to the frosty. The element helium, well known for its party trick of making your voice squeaky, becomes a liquid at minus 459 degrees Fahrenheit. That's just a few degrees above absolute zero. Brr, that's cold. But let's not forget about the star of the show, the element that's in you, me, and everything around us, carbon. It's the only element known to form up to 10 million different compounds. Talk about being versatile. And here's a fun fact for you pop culture buffs out there. The element berkelium was named after the city of Berkeley in California and not after the Muppet Bunsen Honeydew's assistant beaker, as some might think. Now, here's a joke to lighten the mood. Why don't we ever invite the periodic table to dinner? Because it always brings its own elements and never helps set the table. And let's not forget our heavyweight champion, organism. It's the heaviest element on the periodic table. And it's also the laziest, as it has the shortest half-life. So, there you have it, folks. The periodic table is not just a chart in a science lab. It's a treasure trove of stories, facts, and bad chemistry jokes. Well, we've reached the end of our journey through the periodic table. Don't worry, there won't be a quiz. Or will there? No, seriously, there won't be. And what a journey it's been. From hydrogen, the lightest element, to organesson, the heaviest one we know. We've delved into the layout, the groups, the periods, and even the fascinating world of transition metals. We've uncovered some fun facts and trivia that make these elements more than just symbols on a chart. And hey, speaking of fun, here's a thought. If Mendeleev, the father of the periodic table, were alive today, he'd probably be the life of every party. Why, you ask? Well, he knows all the elements, of course. In all seriousness, the periodic table is a marvel of scientific knowledge and organization. So remember, next time you look at the periodic table, don't see it as a boring chart. See it as an adventure waiting to unfold. Until next time, this is Ultimate GK Blasters, signing off.